What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee here to talk some Packers as we truck on into the bye week for Green Bay, ready to watch some football. Stress-free this weekend. Always a nice thing. We'll hit on the schedule for the week and kind of give you some of the matchups that are going to be coming around the bend there as well. But first things first, let's give a shout out to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets. They are Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description that'll send you to theticketking.com, where you can register for free as a customer and go ahead and start shopping for those Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Boys, how we doing today? How we feeling? How we feeling out there? I know, man, Emilio, 80 degrees over here today. I was pissed off, man. I don't like it. Me don't like it, Jan.
I was sweating. Trust me. It was hot out there. But yeah, no, Nashville was getting 60, 65. We had the 80-degree breeze. We're gonna have it for a couple more days too. Maybe rain coming in Saturday night for the UT game. But besides that, man, great week. Glad to be here and glad that Packers get a week to recoup. They needed it after that loss. Let's just cut it up and move forward, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel a little bit better now that we've fully digested what happened. And I didn't get sick. I stood out in the rain for 4.5 hours and was at that game. It was a raining hellstorm, and I'm doing all right. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Chewy, obviously here in Northeast Tennessee as well, said the mosquitoes came back out. Boy, I tell you, the gnats kill me, man.
Yeah,
I can't take it. I
don't think we might have cracked 50 degrees here in Green Bay today. So
see, that's what I need. I need that in my life.
Tim, the mosquitoes are so bad they literally can cut you through the shirt, man. I mean, those things will bite you. They'll punch right through that stuff.
Nasty, man. Nasty.
Like Edgerrin Cooper on a twist blitz, man. They hit you, no doubt about it. Let's see here. Daryl in the chat says, enough with the mosquito talk. Let's talk Packers. Going into the bye week, Packers 6-3 through 9 games. Gentlemen, how are we feeling about that? I would love for them to be 9-0, but 6-3, not a bad place to be, right?
Can't go 13-4 unless you lose 3 games. So, that's how just the way I'm looking at it. It's still on the table.
Yep.
I don't know. It could be a lot worse, right? Last year, we certainly weren't in this shape at this point of the season. So, and I think if you look at this point of the season, I think the attitude's the same, though. It's time to get right. We were on a 4-game win streak before dropping that one at home to Detroit. So, I think the mindset is the same. Get back on track, stay on track, going into another divisional game coming up after the bye.
Yeah. So, I'm happy that it's a flip from last year. I would say that this team has made progress and gotten better. The fact that we are now 3-6 versus 6-3. Obviously, Jordan's made some bad, dumb mistakes, but we can't go back and take them back. So I'm ready to just keep rolling and see where the 6-3 takes us this year. If the 3-6 brought us to second round playoff,
that's a great point. Like Daryl said here, right? Better than the Packers 3-6 last season through 9, and it's amazing too because I feel like people were more depressed this year than they were last year. I'm going, what the heck? What are we doing, folks?
Right.
Like, this is a pretty solid start, right? Chris N says. Big game versus the Bears. Yes, sir. And listen, I came across this on Facebook and somebody had posted it. Now, it's obviously not going to be too clear here on sharing my Twitter page. And I wish I could read the watermark. Kind of defeats the purpose when you can't give credit to who did it. But the post that I seen this on said Wrigley Field 1934. Okay, and it's showing the Packers against the Bears 1934. You see the ivy on the wall. But like some people pointed out on Twitter when I posted it, they had pointed out the ivy. I don't think the ivy went on the wall until like 1937, and also those additional seats. And then when you look at you put 2 and 2 together and look at the Packers uniforms, I went back and ran that down. They started wearing those in 1937. I think that carried through like 46, maybe 47-ish. So probably 1937 with this picture. But boys, how beautiful is that freaking shot right there, man? For everybody on the pod, it's Wrigley Field. I don't know if it's Waveland Avenue in the background or it's Sheffield Avenue, but you can see the buildings at Wrigley. You can see the ivy on the wall. The leather helmets are out in full force. My man, I can't tell if he crapped his pants or just hit the mud hole over there. Don't matter. We're playing ball, right?
The answer is yes to both, probably. That's awesome. Bring back these throwback uniforms. Bring them back. Let's go. I'm done with the 50s throwbacks, man. Let's
had
go back.
enough.
Let's go back to the old school. Love
the logo though, man. Tim, that old school logo. I just can't get over it, you know?
Yeah,
for sure.
That would be cool if they slapped that back on the side of the helmet. That would be sick.
Yeah.
I just honestly, it looked like it was almost AI. Honestly, they looked like they got it, the colors enhanced and everything. They blew it up, but man, just cool to see where we came from.
You reckon
I miss the 80s uniforms. You remember in the 80s where they had the numbers on their pants?
Yes.
And they had the G on the shoulder, on the side of the sleeve there.
I think it looked tacky as hell, but I love it. I can't help it. I love going back and watching those old videos. And that's usually what I do during the bye week is I'll go back and try to pull random 1978 when the Packers were garbage, right?
Yep.
Find one of the rare wins and snow flying at Lambeau, something like that. It's a lot of fun for sure. But yeah, this shot, I wish I could give credit to someone for it there. It's hard to read the watermark, but nonetheless, a really, really cool picture that just shows you how old this rivalry is. And this was well into the rivalry. This is probably, I mean, my goodness, they were already pretty deep in the mix there. Coach Lynn in the chat said Packers are set up nicely on the back half of the season to go on a run. RELAX. Love the optimism, Coach. I completely agree. And again, coming out of the bye week, you're able to self-scout a little bit. And we've noticed some things that we would like to see changed a touch. But also when it goes right, we don't want it changed. When it goes wrong, scrap everything, right, guys? That's the way that works as emotional fans. But so, again, a really cool shot there. Let's see. Our Deadfish in the chat says Packers only team to place 2 players on the defensive all-rookie first half team and only team in the NFC North to put any players on that team. That's really interesting. I don't know if I still got the screen grab. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. No, I don't. So we showed a screen grab yesterday of those 2 rookies that made the all-rookie team through the halfway point. Obviously, a lot of things could change in the second half of the season, but it was Evan Williams at safety and Edgerrin Cooper at linebacker. And what's wild is Edgerrin Cooper still isn't getting the bulk of the snaps. It's like sooner or later, I'm kind of wondering when they come out of the bye, is he going to be the dude? You know what I mean? How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, it would be a good time to pull the trigger, right? Get a little reset, get a break. Part of the bye week too is, the guys getting a little chance to kind of get away from the facility. I'm sure coach gave them some time to themselves, maybe a little extended weekend kind of thing. And then you hit the ground running Monday, as you go into your prep for install for the Bears week. But I think if you make a move now, I don't think the fan base complains for sure if we see a little less Quay and a little more Edge Coop out there. But that doesn't necessarily mean less Quay Walker either. It may be a little bit less of, Isaiah McDuffie or something. Who knows? But I do think there's validity to the argument of, hey, Edgerrin Cooper needs to be, hitting that 45, 55 snaps a game kind of threshold and just cut him loose because he's a high motor guy too. That guy just looks like he doesn't get tired out there. It's kind of scary to see him just go full bore like that. And he never seems to run out of gas. So I'd like to see him get more reps for sure.
Yeah. And when you look at right here, Amelia, I'll turn it over to you. But when you look at the playtime percentage, Quay Walker is at 90.6%, right? In 8 games. Isaiah McDuffie at 68.6%. Edgerrin Cooper at 41.9%. I would love to see, like Tim was saying, at least at a bare minimum, have Edgerrin Cooper's snap count flip with Isaiah McDuffie, although McDuffie had a pretty good game there last week, didn't he?
Right. Yeah. In a little bit more of a minor role. He only had 20 snaps that game. So I think those numbers are going to start to flip. I just don't think it's going to happen immediately just because Cooper didn't get a lot of burn at the beginning of the season. So he's as he's grown and gotten better, he's getting more of it. I think they are going to start to flip. But the biggest question is if we're ready to take Quay off the field, is Edgerrin Cooper ready to put the dot on his head? Like that's the reason why Quay is on the field all the time is because he has to. He's in there for every call. He's in there every play. he has the green dot. So if we're gonna make the decision of like yanking him for Coop, is Coop ready to make those calls, or does it go to somebody else? I think that's my only hang up on him going full time inside or anything like that.
Then you'd put the dot on Wilson, right?
But then Wilson's got to be in for then Wilson's in for 100% of the plays. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying is who do I want in there for 100% and mentally ready to call him and get him going.
I think that's a valid point. And if you're going to put the green dot on anyone other than Quay or Edgerrin Cooper, like say Edgerrin takes Quay's snaps, right, and now Quay drops down to second most snaps. If you're not going to put the green dot on Edgerrin Cooper, then put it on Xavier McKinney, right? He's got experience doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll hurt him. Do you guys? I don't think it'd be something that he couldn't handle. Now, maybe him blowing up this year, with the interceptions and everything, maybe that's a reflection of him not having to worry about those duties. I don't know.
That's true too. Because my only worry is that at that point, how's he going to relay something? They don't. I mean, they huddle up every time, but even if they're lined up at 20 seconds and they're still talking to him when he's backpedaling up to post safety or whatever, how's he going to relay that to, McDuffie or Quay or Coop, whoever's in there to, tell the lineman slide over one more gap kind of thing.
Yeah. Good point for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here in the chat real quick. Justin in the chat says, I feel like Dobbs is clearly the number one receiver and potentially a top 10 receiver. Why does it seem like no one else thinks the same? Top 10 receiver, I can't do it, Justin. And the reason being is the numbers aren't there. The target share is there, but the numbers aren't there, right? Like if we were to take a look now, he's not even the number one receiver on this team. That's what's crazy. And we're saying number one, we're not saying like he's the best receiver. I'm simply saying as far as the amount of looks he's getting and the results, like you see Jayden Reed, 620 yards receiving off 47 targets. Romeo Dobbs has only gotten 2 less targets and got, 208 less yards, right? So they got a very, very similar target share there, but Jayden Reed obviously having a lot more success. Now, you do have to take into consideration that Romeo Dobbs is playing boundary X the majority of the time, so it's not like he's working in a ton of space. It's more of that playing in a phone booth type thing, running the outs. He's running a ton of go routes, not as much as last year from what I've charted, but again, I think that with Jayden Reed, when he hits on his shot plays, it's typically that crosser, and there's a lot more yards to be gained there. But as far as a top 10 receiver, Justin, I got to respectfully disagree. Doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm not there yet. How do you guys feel about this comment here, boys?
You guys know Rome's my dude, so you all know where I stand. I'm probably going to take Justin's side here on this one. But that's, fanning with my heart more than anything, right? We all have our favorites. But I think it's unmistakable that he's capable of being that guy. And he can play on the boundary. He can play in the slot. He's, another one of these guys that is versatile in the pass game. And, Rome will get out there and run block too, do the dirty work like all these other guys do in this receiver room. So, I mean, I'm there. I don't know about if you're saying like top 10 in the NFL. That might be.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, top 10 league wide. That I'm not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's near there, then he's probably just outside of that top 10, right? Maybe top 20, you could say, kind of range. But we'll see. There's a lot of ball left this year. We got a lot of games left, and we may be saying something totally different here at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. I would put his work ethic top 10. I just think that right now, I don't know if I'd put him top 10 overall in the league. But a guy that, Jordan Love trusts and that I think, is going to be a key part to this team moving forward this season and hopefully for, a few more depending on how that contract works itself out.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at the catch percentage, right? The catch rate for Marshawn Lloyd, 1 target, 1 catch. He's leading the team. Right?
Mm.
Hopefully we get him back after the bye. That'd be awesome. Malik Heath, he's only been targeted 5 times, but his catch percentage, I should say, is 80%. Chris Brooks, 80%. Josh Jacobs, 79%. But of the wide receivers, Jayden Reed, 76.6%. Emmanuel Wilson, 75%. Ben Sims, 75%. Let's go. Tucker Kraft right behind him, 71.8. Luke Musgrave, small sample size, plus 71.4. And then you've got Romeo Dobbs at 66.7. So Jaden Reed significantly higher as far as catch percentage. But again, I think a lot of those plays that Jaden Reed's making, he's being schemed wide open, right? It's right. A little bit different than Dobbs making. Dobbs got the best hands on the team, in my opinion. He just, at least it looks like it when you watch the game. The stats may not suggest that, but it sure seems like he's got the best hands.
Yeah, you can pick up 30 yards on a deep cross, no problem. And the fact that, he's running tipper and the yo-yos and all that stuff, it opens it up for him, too. He gets free releases on the, inside. He's already moving, not towards the line of scrimmage, but he's already in motion, so that helps, too. A lot of things that work in Reed's favor.
Yeah, and Dobbs Dobbs is one of those guys that's great with the double moves, too. We saw that one a couple weeks ago up the sideline where Jordan hit him. That was a thing of beauty. He can create that separation. And I would agree with you, Clayton. I think Rome probably does have the best hands, of the receivers. But, again, let's see how the rest of this year plays out because, everyone's going to have to step up. And these targets are going to start to spread around and continue, especially the way we kind of run Matt LaFleur's offense. We don't really lock on to any one guy too often. We have guys that become those studs or they put a string of really good performances together, but we don't have that quote unquote number one. We've talked about this plenty of times and I think it's a good thing. And you're going to see the ball continue to be spread around and hopefully we reduce the drops,
Yeah. Yep. All right. So as far as catch rate over expected, Ben Sims leads the team 13.6%. That's my guy, man. He's all over the damn tape. And listen, he's only 4 targets, but like every opportunity he gets, he makes the most out of it.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs is second at 8.7%. And again, that is catch rate over expected, given the specific situation, the catch rate in which, the ball's being caught over what is expected on that specific play throughout the course of recent history and that specific situation, coverage, all that type of stuff. 8.7%. Then it's Marshawn Lloyd, 7.1. Christian Watson, 6.7%. Listen, you look at Christian Watson's numbers at 233 yards and 2 touchdowns, you think, okay, man, he's not performing. To me, it's not that Christian Watson isn't performing. When he's given opportunities, you see his catch rate over expected.
Right.
Is 4th best on the team. If you remove Ben Sims and Marshawn Lloyd, who only had 4 targets and 1 target, he's 2nd best on the team. He's making the most of his opportunities. It's just, with how it's being played right now, I think that people are still trying to take him away. We've seen, you remember the big play there toward the end of the game, 51 or a 53 yarder to Jaden Reed on the Dragon Wheel.
Yep.
It was three defenders that went with Christian on that play, right?
Yep. That's exactly it. And I was just pulling up some of the other numbers. Yards from scrimmage for Christian Watson, he's at 229 for the year with 13.5 yards per touch. That would put him 3rd on the team, only behind Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs, who reads at 15.5, Romeo 13.7 yards per touch. And that's where it's like, okay, Christian's not doing anything, but people are saying Christian's not doing anything. But then you look at it, it's like every time he's touching the ball, he's performing well. He's making the change move. He's doing all those little things, to help the team.
I agree with that 100%. We've seen that time and time again. It doesn't jump off the stat sheet, right? It's not the most flashiest things you've ever seen. But man, if you just run back the all 22, man, and just focus in on 9, and you can just see, what a day at the office is like for Scoot. And you're absolutely right, Emilio. He doesn't get enough respect, I don't think, for the things he does.
If I were to give you all the skilled players that we have, or at least the top 5 skilled players or yards from scrimmage, how many of them are breaking 1,000 this year? Josh Jacobs is first at 890. Jaden Reed at second, 730. Romeo Dobbs third at 412. Tucker Kraft 4th at 380. And Emmanuel Wilson is 5th at 300. We can throw in Christian for fun. He is 6th at 229. How many of those are breaking 1,000 by the end of the year?
Woo. I think your best shot obviously is Jaden Reed. Now Josh Jacobs hasn't broke it yet. You're saying? Is that
Nope,
right?
he's at 890.
Yeah, he's breaking 1,000. That's done deal.
Yep.
Jaden Reed, I think, will break it. I think Dobbs will probably finish somewhere between 700 to 800, something like that would be my guess. Just because of what he's being asked to do, he's not running those deep crossers, right? He's not running those shot plays at least right now.
Because I was just trying to circle us back. I remember we were talking at the beginning of the year, like, all right, how many 1,000-yard receivers are we going to have? How many this, and that? Obviously, it's not as easy with Jordan Love being out in the league, being in for 2 games. But still, I just want to see that production. I'd like to see 3 of them hit. I do think, like you said, Josh Jacobs will get it. Jaden will get it. If Romeo could, that would be huge. The only other sleeper there would probably be Tucker Kraft, right, at 380.
That's a good point,
we keep working him. And, I mean, of course, Christian could go off, but, 800 yards in 9 games that'd be a turn up for sure.
Well, Christian Watson, man, at any given moment, you could get a 75-yard play or something. Same thing with Tuck Norris, the Yak Master, So
True.
I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they could possibly get there, but I would agree. I think for sure Josh Jacobs he's cracking 1,000 for sure.
Coach Lynn in the chat says we need to unlock Watson if we're going to the level we want on offense. I completely agree. Like when you get that guy that's truly stretching the field, man, that's when things really open up underneath. You can't look at it like on a play-to-play basis, because when you do that and you go, okay, if you look at it globally and go, why isn't Christian Watson getting those deep shots? And then you look at the route concepts that we're running, you understand why he's not getting the deep shots. They're not attacking that way. You're not seeing near as much dagger right now as you have in the past. You're definitely not seeing Watson line up in the X or the Z and run the go routes like you did in 2022 when he broke out against the Cowboys, right? You're just not seeing that from him. And the reason being is they want to keep him in the mix in those nasty splits to help with the running game and blocking. He's the best blocking receiver on this team.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm real close. Now, listen, there are 2 different types of blockers. I'm not saying you could line Christian up at tight end and do what Tucker does, but I feel comfortable saying at the wide receiver position, the effect that Christian Watson has in the running game as far as run blocking goes is at the same level as a Tucker Kraft, right?
Yeah.
They're both blocking really well right now, in my opinion, at least the last 2 games. Christian Watson, man, he might be the best in the league as a wide receiver to block. Really is.
He can block.
Wait on it. All right, let's see here. iRock in the chat says Christian Watson is our wide receiver 1. All right, so he thinks Christian Watson is number 1. Let's see what else we got. Daryl in the chat says, I know Dobbs should be the number 1 ranked wide receiver on the team because of the separation and marching the ball down the field is what he can do. He caught passes in tight coverage before. He's the best guy on this team in tight coverage, in my opinion. Like that dude.
Yeah. I mean, him and Jaden Reed. I mean, Jaden Reed caught some pretty insane passes if you just go, even going back to last season. I definitely agree, though, Clayton. I think Rome's probably our best hands guy, contested catch guy.
Yeah. Christian in the chat.
Flashback of that deep ball, right, Clay? To Reed, I'm sure that'll be on Chalk Talk next week.
Bro, we got to get that one.
Reed's down there somewhere.
I was actually looking at next gen stats, and it made the top 20 improbable catches.
Really?
So, yeah, wow. You're talking about that deep shot, right? Like
yep.
Yeah. And
how was there that Love threw out there, man? That thing was just a cannon.
And then the Jaden Reed tweet that he put out, F it. Jay Reed down there somewhere. He put it, I mean, people gave Jordan hell over that throw because, hey, it's a risky throw. He could not have thrown that ball any better. It was absolutely on the money, man. Chris in the chat says, mad respect to Dobbs, but Reed is the poopy. Completely agree, man. Jaden Reed, one of my favorite players on this team. Here's what I'm saying. One play, game on the line, all the chips in the middle of the table, whatever cliche you want to use. If you make me pick one receiver to make a play, mine's Jaden Reed. I can understand if people pick Romeo Dobbs because we've seen those back shoulder fades with games on the line like the Saints game last year, things like that. But Jaden Reed has won my respect, man, because with the game on the line, that dude, not only will he catch the ball, but also he can make some stuff happen after it.
Yep.
Let's see. Daryl in the chat says Dobbs and Wicks can provide separation from defense. Watson can outspace the defense on the deep ball. Reed being able to be that slot receiver. All very good points. The big thing that hurts here with that is obviously Wicks struggling to catch the football. Like when we look at the catch rate over expected, we were talking about the best on the team, Ben Sims 13.6, Romeo Dobbs 8.7, Christian Watson 6.7, right? Jaden Reed's actually at a 1.7%. He's in the positive, but sitting 8th on the team. But when you go to the bottom down here, guys, Dontavion Wicks, negative 23.2%. Man, and you talking about the momentum that Christian Watson was able to create in 2022, just making that one play, getting over the hump, and then he blows up.
Yeah.
I think those first couple of drops Wicks had early in the season really kind of got in his head, it seems like.
Yeah, and then it just bugs him, right? You don't want that to sit there in the back of your head and nagging at you the rest of the year. You need something. He needs one more of those where it just snaps it and quit it cold turkey. Quit looking at it. Quit worrying about it. You can play this game. You're in the NFL for a reason, kind of thing. And hopefully it's a breakout here. We got the Bears and then San Fran coming up, so it's gonna have to happen soon.
Yep, I agree. I think he might have a little bit of a sophomore slump kind of thing happening maybe. And if you start getting in your head too much and you're, thinking too much about little mistakes, then you start worrying about every little thing, and then you feel like you can't do anything right. I think he bounces back, man, finishes the year strong. Plus, like you said, the matchups we have coming up, hopefully there are, some game plans in there that we're going to kind of feature Tay Wicks a little bit more, especially anybody that's going to go zone heavy against us. That's our guy. He's the zone beater. Jaden Reed is the guy who will just torch man to man. But I love watching Tay Wicks just sit down in those soft zone coverages and find a weak spot. He's really talented at that. So hopefully he can get in gear here coming out of the bye.
And I honestly wish he'd run a little bit more flyer. Just to get him out there on the field. Just rotate with Reed. Wicks, let's pick you up on some flyer. Just a couple of them. You don't need to be in for every one of them. But
we've seen him do that with Bo Melton.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not do that with Wicks? Yeah.
He's got. It doesn't have to be game-breaking speed. Just only in the flyer position. Even if he gets in motion, gets movement coming up to the first defender, he can shake and make someone miss. And isn't he leading in separation in the league or something like that? So or he's up there, top 10 or whatever, in separation. The dude can get away from people. We just need to get him on the field and just, shell those hands a couple times and get him out of the drops.
Yeah, definitely. Rel in the chat says second half resurgent for Wicks. Loving that optimism, man. Let's go. Definitely. Coach Lynn, we have to stick with Wicks. Just too talented a player. Completely agree. We keep drawing this parallel to Devontae Adams being young, and everyone comes back to it, right? Mike Berry, Wicks equals second-year Adams. You can't give up on him. You can't. And then Randy Cleaver says Wicks runs great routes. He's definitely the best route runner on this team, in my opinion. I like what Nate Dizzle said. John Gruden called Jaden Reed the Ginsu knife of our offense. Perfect. He really is, man. Like that guy he's awesome. You guys watched any of John Gruden's content?
I watched some of them.
I saw some, yeah, not recently though.
Bro, his knowledge of the game is unbelievable,
yeah.
Right? His love for the game, I can't stress enough. I dig it. But some of those videos, I'm like, my man might be on the marching powder. What is going on?
Yeah.
Amp up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
He's running on 100% for sure. That stuff is rich.
And they got him in the dark with that little spotlight on him. It's like, what is going on right now? What are we doing?
Here's the guy.
Is he in the Brown County Jail or something? What the hell's going on out here? Right? It's just weird. It's a weird feeling. I don't know. But nonetheless, it is really good content. Does a great job breaking everything down. I thought this was interesting. Bo Melton, man. Average yards or air yards per target, 17.5. Christian Watson, 15.9. Dontavion Wicks, 13.7. Romeo Dobbs, 12.7. Ben Sims, 9.6. Obviously, that wheel route helped. Jaden Reed, 8 yards. Luke Musgrave, 5.6. Malik Heath, 5.6. And then, of course, Tucker Kraft at 5.4. Tucker Kraft's, this is what I'm talking about. Yak over expected. Tucker Kraft at now at a plus 107 that's phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's why we can't go 4 wide, though.
Exactly.
is because of him right there. That's the only reason we can't run 4 wide receivers. Or we've never seen. Yeah, he's too busy moving. He's too busy moving tanks around. Matt won't call a 5 wide with Bo, Christian, Romeo, Wicks, and I think that's everybody. Malik. Who else?
Oh, we got all kinds of. We keep going.
That's what I'm saying. So we're never going to see that because Tuck is absolutely crushing it.
Yeah. Mike Berry, if you're still in here, buddy, I seen this. You said a lot of drama coming out of Chicago. If you would specify that, and if you guys see that comment come through, mark it for me because I'd like to know what he's talking about. I know DJ Moore went on a podcast last week, and they asked him, do you think Coach Eberflus has lost his locker room? And he said, I don't think so. It's like, whoa. You can't just say no. You know what I mean? Like it seemed really weird. It seemed really weird. And there was people saying that's not what he said. If you listen close, he actually said something else. It was just hilarious. But
maybe if you listen real close to what I'm saying, it's always
the Bears still suck.
So if anybody knows what the drama is coming out of Chicago, let us know. Oh, here we go. What is this? Moore walked off the field while Williams was scrambling.
Oh, wow.
I got to find that. Does it?
I did see that clip, and he was just Williams was running around crazy on the left sideline. And as Moore was coming back, I think he thought Williams was going to throw it to him as they were both coming to the sideline at the same time. And he didn't. And Caleb put his foot in the ground and tried to rotate and circle back into the field. At that point, I think Moore stepped out of bounds, and just as a smart play is to get off the field because if he touches the ball, it's a penalty anyway. So he can't. If he's already stepped out of bounds, he can't go back in the play and touch the ball anyway. So you might as well just go. I would sit down, take the helmet off, give me a water. This man. I thought he was going to throw me the ball. He's over here just dancing around. That's it. You lose one less eligible receiver. I'm just going to sit this one out. So yes, I did see that, but I think that once he stepped out, he was like, all right, screw it. I'm not going to chance it.
I've got the video evidence. I'm going to go pull it. Tim, you guys talk for a second. We're going to get this because I'm afraid to show the telecast version because
that's fair.
Hit us with
I guess that's my point is either he was like, this kid's going to throw it to me. And then once he saw him stick that foot in the ground, he was like, all right, you know what? I'm not even going to work back to the middle. I'm just going to say that I stepped out of bounds and I'm just going to go ahead and get this water because there's no way we're getting this first down.
Oh, you gotta love the Bears, man. That's Chicago Bear football right there.
So it was first quarter, 2nd and 6 with 11:13 left. All right, first quarter, 11:13, incomplete. All right, here we go. I think we got it. So we're gonna watch the all 22, and everybody, you tell us what you think in the chat here. Let me drop this down. Go here. Drop this. This is a great podcast here.
Definitely. Either way, it's a bad look for DJ Moore. Definitely, Coach, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Lynn.
And Mike Berry said it was a fight in the locker room. Herbert, glad to go 4-5 team.
Yeah, I did see that tweet where he said, "Thank God" or something like that because he got traded. All right, so here's the play. You're going to notice DJ Moore is working outside up here,
like a comeback or an out or something.
Yeah, and. Let's see. Let's go 70.75 here. All right. Let's see what we end up with here real quick. So again, watch up top. You're going to see Caleb run around like he did at USC, like a chicken with his head cut off. 1 read, 2 read. Now he's going to scramble. All right. Up top right here. This is DJ. All right.
Throw it to the man right there.
Throw it to one of the first 2 reads. He had
That's kind of a bad look.
Open too.
It's an ugly look. All I was saying was if he stepped out, it was smart to get off the field. But that's an ugly look on your quarterback.
And I understand what you're saying. Like, there's nothing he can do. The last thing you want to do is run back in the field to play and get a penalty, right?
Right.
But yeah, watch up top here, Tim. Can you see it okay right here?
Yeah.
All right, watch him. Play still alive. He's going, what the hell? Where did DJ go? He don't even care the outcome of the play. Like he's on the bench right now.
No, definitely. Go get the water. Give me an oxygen tank. Yeah, I knew we weren't going to complete it. Bring it over, everybody.
God, I love the Bears, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, let's see it from here because
the only way it would have been funnier if it was the Cardinals bench. If he walked over and just sat on their bench.
Right here though, throw it to him.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the limp too. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Rewind that, Clay. Let me see the little. He's got a little get
Did you
up.
see Caleb Williams though? Look like where'd you go? Right there.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like, wait, what happened?
Let's go slow motion because he does limp.
Right here. He's open right now. Throw it.
Yeah, throw it, but
No.
Okay. Now DJ's gonna go. You know what,
right
guys?
Ooh. No, when I planted there to avoid the sideline, it rolled my ankle.
The Bears are the gift that just keeps on giving. Man.
Caleb's like, great. Now I only have 3 eligibles back there. What are we gonna do?
Greg Rice, or as Charles Barkley says, terrible. We need that sound.
It's terrible.
We got to get that sound. That's terrible. Let me write that down. I'm gonna spell it the way he did too. TURL.
Terrible.
Okay. Yeah, Coach Lynn says Williams looked for him too when he cut back to his right, like he's kind of expecting him to work back to the field side. So, man, only in Chicago, baby. Only in Chicago.
See you soon, Chicago. We're coming for you.
The Bears still suck.
Tim loves that drop. Oh my God! All right, let's see what else we got here. This is kind of cool, just hanging out with the chat here. Like Ari Iron Monitor says, Bears are fun to watch. They really are, man. Like every time their game on, if the Packers aren't playing, I'm watching it. I'm tuning in, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's like when the algae gets out of control, and all of a sudden you see car accidents, and it's like, man, I can't stop looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So Tim shaking his head, like, how the hell did I end up on this show with these two knuckleheads? So, oh man, what is this, Daryl? Please tell me Caleb Williams is not holding an Easter egg. What was he talking about?
I don't know if I even want to know.
Okay, never mind. See, that's why you gotta watch the chat. All right. So Yak Yards, back to Yak. Speaking of Yak, Yakety Yak.
What happens when we talk about the Bears?
Yeah, Jaden Reed plus 40 Yak over expected. All right. Josh Jacobs plus 30. Dontavion Wicks plus 24. There's a bright side to Dontavion Wicks, right? If he fixes the drops, man, I'm telling you, dude's getting separation. He's able to last year, I think he led us with yak yards out of the slot, and that included Jaden Reed as well, right? So definitely somebody who could do some damage. Tucker Kraft's so much fun to watch. You guys want to take a quick look at his 5 touchdowns here?
Yeah.
Of course.
Let's
look at Tucker Kraft's 5 touchdowns here. This is against the Vikings. All right, you see him up top here. Quick flat, stiff arm, get off me, Harrison Smith. Touchdown. Love it. So there you're seeing him. There you're seeing him in the flat. All right. Actually, let's do this. Let's just go all 22. All right. Actually, we'll just go all end zone here. So here's the yak again. In the flat, stiff arm. Bang. Gosh. Well, the other
shoulder roll.
Oh, man.
I love it. Last year he would be trying to hurdle guys. It only took that one shot to the jewels to make him change his mind and start lowering the shoulder. You gotta love it, man.
This is against the Rams for 66 yards. All right, you see him. He is nub right up here. Okay, they're doing that. Oh yes, look at that crosser. Let's go. All that separation. Get off me, little boy. All right.
Look who's downfield blocking.
Who was it, Emilio? Tell the people on the pod who it was.
I'm pretty sure that was our boy Wicks.
That was Wicks. Dontavion Wicks, 40 yards down the field, blocking.
Grinding. After he cut in front of the corner to pull his face.
Yeah. And then Kraft right here attached on the it's a strong left look, T-Same. Let's see what kind of route he runs here. So you've seen the wheel, you've seen the flat, little leak. Here's a screen, tight end screen, right? Over the top, baby. Bang, touchdown. So you've seen the tight end screen, you've seen a flat, you've seen a wheel route. Or I'm sorry, a crosser, not a wheel, crosser. Here, we know what this one is, boys. Trey right. We got to break it out. We got to go end zone for this one. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do it. So there he is, Trey Wright. This safety thinks, I'm going to bait number 10. I'm just going to bait the hell out of him. I'm going to pick this ball off if they go down the seam. Watch this. Look at 21. He's like, I'm going to shift just a half a step to the right and make him think he's got this seam open. And then I'm just going to jump in here and pick this ball off. No, you aren't, sir. What a catch. That catch is unbelievable, man. Placement on that ball, nose down. Whoop. So there you see a skinny post, right?
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
All right, here's Tucker Kraft now attached. Again, you got Ben Sims on his right. And this route is going to be a leak. Oh, that's just that little swing leak. Let's go. 233.5% Caucasian right there with that celebration.
See how he gets off that block, though? Like that initial contact is like no problem. He just shakes it off right out to the flat tutter. Love it.
Sold it. All right. We got one more? Is that 4 or 5 we've shown? That's all 5, right? So there you go. NFL Pro is awesome. If you guys don't have it, go freaking get it. It is unbelievable tool.
How many touchdowns does Wicks have? 4, right?
Wicks has 4 touchdowns. Yeah, that's correct.
I know we're on him, but man, dude's almost contributed the same amount as Tucker Kraft points wise. You know what I mean? Like we're one touchdown shy. He's given us some production.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all. Welcome back to hour 2. I was weird doing it in real time, but
we're back.
Maybe I want to throw one of these at myself. You know what I'm saying? Just hit it there. I want to pull this graphic up, though. I thought this was cool since we were talking receivers, and we'll move on here in a second. So this is yards per route run against man versus zone. You got zone running vertically, man running horizontally. So the goal is upper right being the best receiver in football. There's 3 receivers that have really separated themselves. Nico Collins is obviously injured, I think, for the rest of the year, if I remember correctly. But he's one that was just absolutely dominating. He's now obviously out of the mix. You got Justin Jefferson, who's always going to be in the mix, and A.J. Brown, boys, is just an absolute stud. So what you're looking for are receivers in that upper right quadrant here. And the only 2 in that upper right for the Packers are Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, albeit they're right near the median line. They're not really great at zone coverage or man coverage. They're just, but they are in the positive. We just want to point that out. Dontavion Wicks is in the lower left there, okay? And then everybody's going, where's Jaden Reed? So against man coverage, Jaden Reed not that good, right, as far as yards per route run against man coverage. But when you look at zone, he is 3rd best in the league as far as yards per route ran against zone coverage. Only Nico Collins and Jennings from the 49ers are higher than Jaden Reed. So what you're noticing here, Tucker Kraft, you see he's really good against zone too. Not really good, but I mean, he's good for a tight end. He's above Zach Ertz there. I'm trying to see if there's any other tight ends that are above him. Where's our boy? I'm looking for Kittle. I always want to compare results between Tucker Kraft and Kittle to kind of see where he's at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing Kittle on this. I see Kelsey down there. Tucker Kraft.
Kittle's right underneath Don Smith, Brian Thomas Jr. It's a little bit better at man, about level 3 on zone.
Gotcha. And Tucker Kraft, again, not very good against man, but in zone, one of the best tight ends against zone, right? Because you're looking at some of these names here. You got Trey McBride up there. He's a tight end. But, yeah, Dallas Goedert's a tight end. But definitely what you find on these charts are who are your best zone beaters? Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, right? Who are your best man beaters? Best man beaters are probably going to be Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. There's no one else on the right side of that line. And obviously, like we said, Dontavion Wicks struggling a bit there. So
right. That also has me looking at the Lions too, Clay. Like, all right, who's their man beaters? We got Sam Laporta and Williams. And then, all right, who's their zone beater? Amon-Ra St. Brown right there. Less than Jaden Reed, but still, I think it's key for, a good team to kind of have that split. You got to have a little bit of both to be able to go to.
Yep. Pretty cool graphic, though. I like to hit on that while we were talking about the wide receivers. Might as well touch on that. Just to tell you. Anything you want to talk about there, Tim? Any thoughts, comments on that, man?
No, I'm just kind of processing it. It's pretty cool, though. I like that they did this. Shout out to Football Insights. That's awesome.
Yeah, great follow at @football_insights on Twitter. Unbelievable follow. And again, the whole point of the bye week is you're kind of self-scouting. And what you're coming away with is when you play teams that play heavy man coverage, right? you want to try to go to Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. When you're playing teams that run heavy zone coverage, you're going to go to people like Tucker Kraft and Jaden Reed. Now, we were expecting in that last game, we were expecting the Lions to play a lot more zone than man, and they end up playing more man than we expected. That's what Matt LaFleur said in the presser, right? So that's one of the things that even though you're scouting a team, you've got to be prepared. And that's why Coach Belichick always talked about the first quarter of the game is all about gathering information and making an adjustment, right? The second quarter and the beginning of the third is all about positioning yourself to control the middle eight. And then the fourth quarter is a standalone game. You throw the game plan completely out in the fourth quarter. What's the information we've gathered across these first three quarters of this game? Let's attack as if this is a totally separate game, right? So, again, it's kind of cool to see who's separating themselves, though.
Hopefully Matt and the team are hammering something like that out, Clay. Not that they don't do it already, but that maybe there's some improvements that they could hone in on during that, or something that they can take from the middle eight or the beginning or something, or they pick up from another team, anything. That's what this week's about.
Yeah. Yep. I bet if you roll by 1265 right now, Matt's office light's on. He's in there. I guarantee he's working his ass off. He in there burning a couple lung darts, getting ready, right? Ready to roll.
Hanging out with this guy, steaming it up.
Yeah, they're sleeping there playing Madden.
Giving him a lighter, helping out.
Never know, you might go downstairs, run into this guy. Right?
Oh,
here's the guy.
They're having a Madden tournament on the big screen. They're just.
And then you go on the backside of Lambeau at the loading dock, and you got these two cats, right? Matt changed shirt, threw the orange vest on. We're good to go. So, all right, let's talk defense for a second. That good with you guys?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about all right, what are some of the most important aspects of the defense from a statistic standpoint? Many people, you see tackles and you think a guy's having a good year. Obviously, Quay Walker is once again leading the team in tackles, but it's all about the depth of tackle. We don't have that on here, unfortunately. We do have stops. We've got hustle stops, all that type of stuff. Let's see who's hustling their ass off this year. Look at who it is. Rookie Javon Bullard with 9 hustle stops. We talked about Keyshawn Nixon struggling a little bit in coverage, but playing really well against the run. 6 hustle stops there. Isaiah McDuffie, 5 hustle stops. Xavier McKinney, 4. Quay Walker, 4. Evan Williams, 4. Eric Stokes, 2. Edgerrin Cooper, 2. Obviously having far fewer snaps. That's how that shakes out. Now, when you go to overall tackles, though, again, Quay Walker leading the way when it comes to stops. He's second on the team in stops, okay? So he's the guy who I'm trying to think of how they tally up stops on here. I want to say stops were it's not a run stuff. I think it's just you were the one responsible for stopping the play, whether or not you got the solo tackle or not. It doesn't really matter.
Was it within 3 yards or no?
See, it may be, but I was thinking that was a run stuff through SIS data. We don't have SIS anymore. Ryan moved on from that. Yeah. But again, it's not a bad statistic to have, second most stops on the team.
So not at all.
The depth of tackle is what's really, really important. That's something the SIS data had, and I know Quay has struggled with that. But Isaiah McDuffie, man, when you look at as far as tackling, stopping the ball carrier, man, it's a little bit better than I expected there, Tim. Does that kind of catch you off guard a little bit?
A little, but I always thought that was, kind of McDuffie's strong suit. Is he's a good downhill guy. He's a tackler. He's great in the run fits. We talk about him flying out in coverage, and he struggles there sometimes. Maybe he's a little late. But I'm not totally blown away by it, but I am a little surprised that now that you really see it and you have all the data in front of you, or at least this data in front of us. I mean, McDuffie is a valuable asset in that linebacker. And we're talking about getting Edgerrin Cooper more snaps. What do we do? Do we turn the page with Quay Walker? Who's going to be the green dot? All of these things. It's like, for every mistake I've seen Zay McDuffie make, I've seen him make 3 or 4 killer tackles or huge plays, huge stops for us. So it's just awesome to see. He's a really good tackler. He really is. Probably one of our better tacklers on the defense.
Very sticky tackler, right?
Yeah.
Like when it's like Velcro almost. Like when he gets back there, he's on him.
He's in one of them Velcro suits, jumping on the trampoline, and where you got to jump, land on the wall.
Yep,
exactly right. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's go quarterback pressures. One of the big. Well, let's talk sacks first. Okay, so Devontae Wyatt leads the team with 3 sacks. Preston Smith had 2.5 sacks. He's no longer on the football team. Rashawn Gary with 2.5. Edgerrin Cooper 2.5. Eric Wilson 2. Keyshawn Nixon 2. Quay Walker 1.5. Kingsley Enagbare 1.5. Carl Brooks 1.5. Xavier McKinney and Lucas Van Ness both with 1. And then Isaiah McDuffie and Aaron Mosby with each a half a sack. Now let's talk about quarterback pressures. Rashawn Gary leads the team and by a pretty good margin here, about 13 pressures. He's now at 28 on the year. Kenny Clark is second with 15. Devontae Wyatt, 3rd with 12. Preston Smith had 11. TJ Slayton with 11 pressures. Kingsley Enagbare with 10. Lucas Van Ness with 10. Carl Brooks with 9. So the big thing there.
Shut the hell up about Rashawn Gary, you haters. I don't want to hear it. He's look at that numbers. Look at the disparaging distance between pressures between first and second on this list. I mean,
right. It doesn't mean he's playing great, but it's like you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
He's one of your bright points. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Yeah. What do you want an edge guy to do? You want an edge guy to be able to get pressures.
Right. On top of that, look at his coverage stats. 3 targets, only 2 receptions for 13 yards allowed with a 75.7 rating. Like, what else could you ask for?
Put him in the slot. Let's go.
Let's go. Put him in the slot. Let's go to pressure percentage. All right. And some of these are going to be skewed a little bit because they don't have as many pass rush snaps. But Xavier McKinney looks like he's rushed the quarterback 7 times. He's got a 42.9% pressure rate. Keyshawn has rushed the quarterback 10 times. He's got a 40% pressure rate. Aaron Mosby, this might only 3 pass rushes, but 33% there, one of which the tackle did fall down, right? We talked about that on Chalk Talk. Isaiah McDuffie, man, when they bring these linebacker blitzes, look at this. Isaiah McDuffie, 31.3%. Eric Wilson, 23.1%. Edgerrin Cooper, 21.7%. And then Javon Bullard has only had, 10 pass rushes. It's actually kind of high. I didn't expect to see 10 pass rushes from Javon Bullard, but he's at a 20% pressure rate. And then when you get down to the down linemen, down defenders that are actually pinning their ears back and going after the quarterback on a consistent basis, Rashawn Gary leads the way at 13.5%. TJ Slayton, 11.8%. Quay Walker, another linebacker, at 11.4%. You got Devontae Wyatt at 11.1%. Kobe Wooden at 9.1%. Kingsley Enagbare at 7.7%. And then LVN at 7.2%. I think people have a misconception that Kingsley Enagbare has just got this high pressure rate, and it's really just not true. Now, he hasn't played a whole lot. Maybe that'll go up as they put him in the lineup a little more consistently. But I did want to go to back to play time here in just a second. But let's hit on the pressure percentage here. Anything catch you guys off guard there? I mean, it just shows the linebackers. When we blitz the linebackers, man, Hafley is drawing up the perfect scheme there.
Yeah, and all I was going to say, Tim, was a lot of our volume rushers are a little low. Obviously, I know we're looking for 10%. Preston Smith gone, Kenny, 200 was 216 attempts, just shy of 7%. Not ideal. Going to need a couple of games to get that number up. But as long as the team is winning and the defense winning, I think that's where Hafley's at. And that's what he's told us, is that he just wants that W at the end of the season. If the stats come for the players at the same time, let's go with that. Let's help them. But, I think it's just I think we're going to be scheming up a lot more pressures if that's the way it's going to work, and just let our base kind of go around and just, fill your gap, do your assignment, and then let's scheme up some pressure for the rest of, our skill guys.
Yeah. Holmes in the chat says, I agree, Tim. The smoke directed at Gary is silly. It's just box score watchers. That gets frustrating trying to deal with those. I've learned just don't even respond. It's like you. And then if you do respond and you try to explain, well, actually, here's what they ran schematically. Here's when you come off feeling like, they'll call you something as if you're trying to act like you know more than them. It's like, okay, we just don't even need to have a conversation. You just Your mind's made up. It is what
Yep.
it is. So I did want to hit this. Let's go playtime percentage again. So now that Preston Smith's gone, right? He was getting 53.7% of the snaps. So let's see who we think is going to take his place. All right.
That's
And
You read
almost
my mind, Clayton. This was my question. You
Almost-
totally read
Was it
my
really?
mind. Love it.
almost 300 snaps are going to get replaced. I mean, that's moving forward. That's a good chunk of snaps right there.
Yeah. So obviously Kenny Clark, 68.9%. He's interior defensive lineman. Your first edge defender is Rashawn Gary at 64.3% of the play time. So Preston Smith was at 53.7%. Okay, so there was a little bit of a rotation there. It looks like JJ Enagbare might be the guy that they're planning on replacing Preston Smith with, predominantly at 43.2%. Maybe he will take over. He's either going to take over Preston Smith's snap count and go up 10% to that 53% level, or maybe they
It's gonna be
split it between him and LVN, right? Who's at 41%. So
I could see that because they're already so close in snaps anyway. They only have 12 snap difference throughout the season. So you might as well just say, all right, out of those, 50 or 30, 40, whatever Preston gets, you guys are both going to get 20 more a game, and let's go for it. Bring them both to around 45. I don't, like you said, I think Rashawn's going to be the only one maybe over 55, 60 on the edge. Just, your one all-star that's got to be out there more. Maybe we even put Rashawn out there a little bit more. I know that
right.
It kind of seemed like a few times we look down and it's like, all right, Rashawn's not even out there. But I wouldn't be opposed to having him get a little bit more reps as we start approaching the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Tim? Anything you want to add here, man?
Well, no, that answered my question because my gut was telling me LVN and Enagbare, and rather than it being one or the other, it's going to be both. It's going to be that committee, and I think that's probably the best way to start when you're looking at that, because we talked about the trade, right? We got a pick, we didn't get a player. You rarely see a position for position trade anyway in the league anyhow. So like you're not going to trade an edge and bring an edge in a lot of times. So I think the plan always must have been to get Enagbare more reps, get LVN more reps. We talked about Mosby being another guy. Brenton Cox Jr. There's some names on that roster that you're not going to get better not playing football. So I think that's the plan moving forward. I can't wait to see it. Best of luck to Preston out there in Pittsburgh, but I'm excited about our boys now, seeing what that edge lineup is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody actually mentioned it earlier, I think in the chat. Oh, I think it was actually, I can't pull it up right now, but we'll do it toward the end. Actually, I'm going to read it off without pulling it on the screen.
Perfect.
Dave Colvin in our Patreon group, shout out to Dave, awesome listener, says, guessing Green Bay saw Preston as a progress stopper. So people are going, what does that mean, progress stopper? That's a phrase that was coined by the great Bill Parcells. And he's talking about players that might be better right now for your team, but it's taking snaps away from someone who has a higher ceiling, and you're slowing that progress down for that young player to be able to take that next step, right? That's what progress stopper means. So shout out to Dave Colvin. That's probably what was going on there, right?
Yeah, well, did you hear the reports about Preston apparently requested this trade?
He did, absolutely.
And it's, maybe not being comfortable in the scheme, and it was time to go back to his, we got away from the 34, right?
Right.
He's more comfortable in the 34. Maybe it's just that simple,
Yep. That was definitely, and he actually confirmed it too. So it wasn't like, hey, is this something that's,
Yeah.
And I know it is a little different just because we were, running a 2-4-5, and now we're running a 4-2-5. So, but the issue is like he's sitting on the edge and not, being able to contain as much. He's got to drive more, all those sorts of things. So,
and in the dirt on occasion, he's,
right.
Yeah.
Why force him into it?
Yeah, and I think that, with the snap count too, right, that we're talking about, Preston's probably looking to get that snaps kind of like Gary, right, that 64%.
Yeah.
And him sitting at 53.7. Now, when he goes to Pittsburgh, he's going to get he might get fewer snaps, to be honest with you. I don't know what their injury situation's like over there, but it sounds like, according to I listen to the McAfee show a lot, and Tone Diggs is really plugged in with the Steelers. It's his favorite team, and he said he thinks it's going to be more of a rotational thing, right? So, but definitely Preston requested a trade. I love what Goody said in the presser too. Goody said, "Yeah, I'm happy that we were able to get him to a team that's contending, not a bad situation, right?" So, respect to both of them. Preston Smith's a stand-up dude, man.
And you're not mad at anything that they did over the offseason, re-signing him or anything, right? You're not mad at that approach of, hey, let's get him in here and let's go with it. Do you think they were kind of holding out on LVN and Enigbare, as to why we brought him back, kind of thing? Or
I think they wanted to legitimately see how he would handle this 43 and be in this system, being a veteran. And then now, look, we're 9 games into the season.
Didn't work out.
And that's the respectable thing to do. It's not about Preston Smith not wanting to be a Packer. It's about him just, hey, I'm not really I'm not vibing well with this system. Is there somewhere you can move me? I mean, that's professional courtesy, really, what it is. I mean, that's how you handle it. So I don't think anyone should be upset about how this panned out, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how many times did we see on Chalk Talk, 91 drop, 91 drop, 91 drop, right? Like he was constantly dropping into coverage, probably because they didn't want to waste Gary in coverage. They wanted to use him on those stunts because he knew Gary was drawing a lot of eyeballs to him, one of the highest chip players in the league. So you put him on that stunt where he's already occupying 2-3 defenders. You're taking the chip out of the equation. If you put Preston over there and you drop Gary into coverage, they're not going to chip him. They're not going to chip Preston because they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think it's probably more of that. Not that Preston don't want to drop into coverage. He's still going to drop into coverage when he goes to Pittsburgh. They run a 34 zone blitz defense. That's what they
I don't think he minds it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. So the big thing here is when you look at Preston Smith's snap count, 53.7%, right, of the playing time, and you had Enigbare at 43.2. Essentially what you're looking to make up is 10% there. I think Enigbare will probably jump to about 48%, and LVN will jump to about 46%, would be my guess. And as soon as one of those guys takes the bull by the freaking horn, then, hey, all right, that's your starter, and they'll make sure they get the bulk of the snaps. That's probably how that'll play out, I would imagine.
You're more comfortable with Enigbare dropping than LVN dropping into coverage, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And LVN, don't get me wrong, man, he's a very athletic dude. And I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't want to see Preston go. You guys know how I feel about Preston. I think you can't put a price tag on that veteran leadership, especially one who's got a great locker room attitude, and he plays every snap like it's the last one. You never see that guy loafing. He's good against the run, all those things that you want in just a good, solid veteran starting defensive lineman. But that play a couple weeks ago on Chalk Talk where LVN ran down the run from behind, Preston Smith ain't making that play.
Right.
It's one of the things in my mind, just trying to say, okay, what are some of the benefits of LVN getting out there? Another thing, too, when you seen Enigbare run down that jet sweep last week or the double reverse, Preston Smith ain't running that down, right? Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. You got those guys that are going to be a little more versatile in that regard, and Preston Smith goes back to doing what he does well. Like Tim says, just a win-win.
Will you pull up the yards allowed, Clay, and just
yeah, absolutely, man.
Organize that by
yards allowed. I wish I hadn't. Emilio, look away. Eric Stokes leads the team at 284 yards allowed. Keyshawn Nixon is second at 250. Now, keep in mind, this is overall yards allowed. This isn't on an average basis. And the reason that looks so much worse is because if you go to targets, Keyshawn has been targeted 41 times, all right? And he's given up 250 yards. Eric Stokes has only been targeted 33 times, and he's given up 34 more yards, right? So not that good, bub. Jair Alexander at 244. Quay Walker's the tough one, right? 244. And again, the Quay Walker one is we've seen how effective he is covering the seam. That's not the problem. It's just those curls and everything underneath those leak plays where he's so hesitant on attacking the football. I just imagine every time a play goes like the other night. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was screaming at the top of my lungs in that game against the Lions. I wanted that game bad. people probably watch the post game, watch the show, and they're like, man, Clayton don't really care that much. He's just calm. That's a bad bull crap. I'm in here screaming like a freaking idiot. When Jordan threw that pick six, as soon as I seen Kirby Joseph's hands come out of the Red Sea and grab it, I didn't make a noise. I put the Hafley picture up. That was me, Tim. This was my response. I just went.
I can just open the back door and wait for a pterodactyl to take him out. He was just hoping for it.
I'm telling you, I didn't make it. I was just like, of course this just happened. Because I'm literally 10 seconds before, I said out loud, nobody up here, I'm a weirdo, I'm talking to myself, right? 32 seconds. Don't do anything stupid. Let's protect the middle eight, please. He rose to the right, hands it to Kirby Joseph for 6, and I just went, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to yards allowed. That anything catch you off guard there, Emilio?
That X number is crazy. The fact that he's only given up 90 yards allowed is pretty wild as a deep safety.
Yeah,
just because I know
Look,
that. Evan Williams too. Look at that. What's he? 70 yards. So both of our safeties aren't getting beat over the top, which is huge. I think that one, did he pick, was X pick on Jones's little wheel route, or did he just hit him on that one? No, he picked that, right? So it's, I don't know. It's pretty cool to see that we are not getting roasted over the top. We are getting torched on the edges though. So I think that's just something to keep in the back pocket. If those numbers keep climbing like that, if we don't see them, flatline or at least slow down a little bit, that's going to be key looking at this team in the offseason for sure.
And I feel like Keyshawn has played pretty good football. The problem with Keyshawn is he's just giving up a lot of touchdowns. It's like they're targeting him when they get inside the 20.
And the same thing happened. He got that the one in green, the one where he was it was like a deep ball, threw him right over his back number, and then this past one against Amon-Ra, we got to spin the head or something. Put the hands up. Let's keep looking at the dude. Put your hands up. I don't know.
Think about it. You got Amon-Ra, and then you got the other one you're talking about was Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
So it's like you want your guys when they're going up against top tier receivers in this league, you need them to show up. Yeah. And there's two examples right there where you're there, but you're not affecting the play.
But then right, and then also Tim, let's not let it go by the wayside. We'll go down one spot there. Our boy Ja only in for 6 games at 244 yards on 29 targets. That's not ideal either with 2 touchdowns, and he wasn't in there to be covering Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson. So that's just another tough part as well.
As far as touchdowns allowed, Keyshawn Nixon has allowed 4 touchdowns. Jair Alexander with 2, Eric Stokes with 2, Isaiah McDuffie with 2. And again, this is in the pass defense, guys. Eric Wilson 1, Corey Ballantyne 1, Javon Bullard 1. I'll tell you a name you don't see on here giving one up. Xavier McKinney and our boy, where's Edgerrin? Yeah, Edgerrin hasn't given up one, has he? Edgerrin Cooper? Nope. So Edgerrin Cooper has not given up one. Now, to me, the more important statistic here, and listen, points are most important, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can see a player can play his ass off and then get targeted 3 times in the red zone, busted coverage here, whatever. He gets credited with the touchdown. That can kind of skew it sometimes. But when you go to passer rating when targeted, okay, and we'll have to filter out some of the noise here, but you're going to start with Xavier McKinney. 34.5 is what the passer rating is when they target him. I'll just let y'all talk about that for a second. I mean, that dude is just phenomenal.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. The fact that he has more quarterback pressure percentage than his quarterback rating against is wild.
Those are Mitch Trubisky top passer rater numbers.
Right, exactly. I mean, that is going to keep the Bears under 4,000 yards for the season, ever. That's something that we're looking for, but just incredible. I cannot believe the Giants let him go like that.
Yeah,
I remember that day we did that pod live after we just picked him up, dude, and we were blowing up like, what? We don't need a safety in the draft. Yeah. Who cares? Like, let's go.
And thank God we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah.
They went out and got Evan Williams, and his passer rating when target's only a 47.9.
You hear people talk about shutdown corners, in this league. X is a shutdown safety. He is a
Ed Reed.
yeah.
Brian Dawkins,
There you go. There you go. And you don't say those names lightly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about some of the best to ever, patrol the back end of a defense, man,
Mhm.
I think Xavier McKinney belongs in the conversation just based off of the tape I've seen last year and this year, what he's doing. And, you got to think it's just going to continue. And he's one of those guys that he's like a fine wine. He gets better with age,
Right.
It's good to have guys like that on your team, man, for sure.
Like the three that I would want to say, Tim, would be like Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins type thing. But he doesn't play. I mean, he can hit like them. He can tackle like them, but he doesn't play the game like them. He's a completely different, lockdown, like you said, safety.
Yep. But like you said, the reason you make the comparison, even though the styles of play are different, is because of the influence they have on the field and what it will do to an opposing offense when you've got a guy like that back there toying with quarterbacks. It's really fun to watch. We've seen him do that a lot, man. He'll come sugar at the line and you bat an eyelash and the guy's deep third and he's in position to make a play. He's
amazing. Never off the field. He's never coming off the field. So you better be ready to play against that man. Prepare to play against him.
That's right.
So as well as passer rating when targeted, like Holmes here, X equals no-fly zone. Yes, sir. So next on the list is at 72.9, Carrington Valentine, guys. 72.9 passer rating when targeted. I don't want to see Eric Stokes on the field. I just don't, man. Put Carrington out there until he proves he doesn't deserve it, right? He's obviously had a lot more success this year, comparatively speaking to Eric Stokes, who we're going to have to scroll down a bit, but Eric Stokes, 113.7 passer rating when targeted. So Carrington Valentine, how many targets has he gotten here? Let's see. Is it a lot? Only 2, right? Okay. So only 2. His playtime percentage is 38.9%. So when he is available, he's only playing 38% of the snaps there. But he has played 122 snaps, only been targeted twice. And being targeted a low amount in a 7th-round pick, it really says a lot, don't it? I mean, it means he's covering his guy up, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's bad, especially in the fact that he was on for 51 run Ds. So about 70 snaps were pass plays and was targeted twice. I'll take that.
Let's take a look at his targets real quick. You want to?
Let's do it.
It's just 2 of them. So let's just take a quick glance and see how his targets went. See if we can identify here. Let's see. So, he's going to be up top. It looks like he's playing a little press technique, right? Let's see what we got here. Let's roll the tape. Roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, now he's going to bail out. You see that? Looking like a cat, Emilio?
He did.
Looking like Maze right there. Look at Maze.
He just snapped its head around.
See what we got here. Catch, man. Look, it got back quick, right? Underneath concept there.
I mean, and that's, if they're counting that as a target on him, that's I'll take it, I guess. I mean, that could have been Kubek. That's a wash. But
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that wasn't really his responsibility, right? All right, let's see if we can identify him here. Is this him at the bottom now?
24, yep.
All right, let's see what he does here. Playing off, about 10 yards. Whoo, just about picked that ball, didn't he?
He was sitting right there the whole time.
Yeah,
kept him on his hip all the way.
Let's take a look at the end zone cam here real quick if it'll let us. Ain't gonna let us. We'll run it one more time, then it should go to the end zone cam. I believe it'll automatically switch to it. Hopefully it does. They may not have the end zone cam either. I want to see that from a little bit better angle and see how he played that ball. Is it going to?
No, I don't think they have it. That's crazy. So his only 2 targets were against the Colts. And then besides that, he hasn't been in, or
he just hasn't been targeted.
Yeah, no fly zone.
Yep. So, and again, you kind of see it there, like he's all over that receiver, man. So, all right, cool. I'm telling you, NFL Pro is awesome, man. Hey, let's take a look at those 2 targets, shall we? Absolutely love it.
Chris believes Valentine is the only hope at cornerback.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that too, man.
And we've been so worried about the linebackers, we completely forget to check on corners.
Yep, exactly. And again, the big issue, right, is on the outside is Eric Stokes, who's been a liability, and Keyshawn Nixon giving up tutters. That's been the two big things that sticks out with the second. Other than that, the secondary playing pretty darn good, right? I mean, look at Rashawn Gary, 75.7. Let's put him out there on the boundary. You know what I mean? Get him out there playing some press. Jair Alexander, 80.2, right? Obviously got 2 picks. He's given up 2 touchdowns as well, though. Edgerrin Cooper, 82.9. You love to see it. Is that best at the linebacker position? It is, right? Got 10 targets for 6 catches. All right. 82.9. LVN dropping into coverage. He's been targeted 5 times.
Wow. Can we pull those up?
Let's do it. Let's see what happened on that. Let's geek out here a little bit. We got a little bit of time.
Well, if that's the case, if he's going to be dropping and Preston's gone, let's know what we're getting ourselves into.
That's
let's see. There he is right here on the left side of the screen from the offense's perspective.
Oh, beautifully played. Stay on your man. I mean, I'll take that all day long.
That's it. Put him on the boundary too. Let's
go. Position right now.
So basically, everybody on the pod's going, what happened, Clayton? So he's lined up in a wide 9 over the tight end on the outside shoulder of the tight end, right? Ball snapped. The tight end tries to block him. LVN engages, and it's obviously a leak. LVN recognizes it, just pushes the tight end down as the ball goes whistling by his ear. Love it.
That's exactly like, why'd you try to stop blocking me? That didn't make sense.
So here we are again, right? Wide 9 on the right from the defense's perspective, on the left from the offense's perspective. Let's see here. Ball snapped. What's he going to do, guys?
Chip.
Oh.
So they counted that as a target and a catch given up, and that's why it's important to watch the tape, right? Because, again, it's just – and I love it. He beats the tackle and just completely annihilates the running back, right? What's the running back here? Then he gets back and helps make the tackle, I guess.
With just his forearm. Like,
right.
LVN used, 19% of his body to just drop that guy. Look at that.
And then he was on the ground. It's like, all right, he can't catch the ball.
Like flicking a mosquito away.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that's a high FBI move there too, because the running back's trying to chip and get out, and he's like, "Now let's just go ahead and put him on his ass real quick." Right? Exactly what he does. Bang.
Beautiful.
So you can see the athleticism with LVN
for sure.
But the fact that was a catch and yards on him is
It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Again, same position, right?
Yep.
Same exact position. Wide 9 right. Outside shoulder of the tight end. Engages with the tight end. Shrugs him off. Gets to the tackle. How is that a target for him? None of these are targets.
They were trying to take the weight off Quay. The heat off McDuffie. There we go.
Yeah. Quay fell down on that one. Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen that too, Tim. I won't going to say anything, but just tough, man. It's like athletic freak. Oh, drives me crazy. All right. Again, wide 9 right for LVN here. See what we got. Quick bull rush. So they just threw a little screen pass by his ear, right? And he kind of goes bull to end, little rip move, don't he? Yeah. Bull, rip.
Yeah, I want to see. I hope
my goodness,
expand his bull.
What'd you say, oh my goodness, for Tim?
I saw that piss poor tackling from 23. We'll just oh my God.
Yeah. Look like you're doing yoga out there. Not a good pose right here, right?
Stretching the bag.
Talk about a guy I want to see coming back strong out of the bye week, man.
Roll that back just a smidge. TJ Slayton wanted to just take this kid's head off and just sell it.
You see Kenny Clark get out of the way like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing out here? And I like, Kenny, it looks like a missed tackle with Kenny, not making excuses for him, but at the same time, he does have a blocker in the back there. Yeah. Nice little no call there, right, guys? Look at this.
No bang. Let's go. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Where's Ronnie Boy when you need him,
Exactly. And let's see here. Another target for LVN. That's his spot, no doubt about it, right? He's playing right.
He's comfortable there, 100%.
Let's see. Oh, reads the screen. Look at
I like that.
Great
Turn
job.
Back inside where your help is. That's all you can ask.
Great job there, man. Let's watch it one more time.
That's his one target. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, I agree. And he did allow a catch, but at the same time, he played that absolutely perfect.
And he's
Reed
working.
did-
Wait, yeah, he's working against a tackle, right? Or did
Yep.
they bring in an extra?
Yeah, they sift the tight end over, right?
Pull it back a little bit. Pull it back a little bit more. Okay, no, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they sift the tight end over. I thought they were running 3 tackles or overload or something. Unbalanced, I meant.
Yeah, great job though, man. Read the screen, so good stuff with that.
That's
All
kind of
right.
like that play we ran the other day, or when Jaden Reed ran that slip wheel. That's kind of the same idea. Let's sift Tucker over. He'll pick up the block instead of a screen on the backside. Where remember we were saying did they set up a screen for Rasheed Walker or something?
Mm-hmm.
Basically that same exact play, just turned into a halfback screen.
Let's look at LVN's pressures. You want to? While we're here, this might be fun. All right, wide 9 right. Nope, that ain't him. He's inside here. Look at this, boys.
Yeah.
Against the Colts. They got him playing a 1 tech and an overload. Check it out. What are you laughing about? What the hell is your problem, Emilio? What are you giggling about?
Sutherland, Eric Sutherland.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Eric in the
Don't
chat.
put that one up.
Yeah, I would.
All right. If I had a quarter for every time we said, don't put Eric's up.
Yeah, that's it.
We could do Holmes's. Holmes said, Eric, I just peed myself. Laughing emoji. All right, so let's see LVN from the 1 tech, looping all the way. Oh, good stuff, man. Good burst, man. Good acceleration from LVN.
But roll that back real quick. Look who's all on the field right here. We got Rashawn, Preston, LVN, and Enigbare. So who is the next person that goes on the field now? But
It's a good point.
Mosby.
And it's a double stunt, too. Check it out. Gary and Preston stunt. LVN comes all the way across the formation.
Do you think Devontae Wyatt could be that dude that comes on in Preston? What is this, 3rd and 15? So if this is their NASCAR package or whatever, do you think it's Devontae Wyatt or do we think it's Aaron Mosby, Brent Cox, something like that?
I think they're trying to make Devontae Wyatt that traditional 3 tech and good against.
So they wouldn't put him out there, you don't think?
It's all about that snap allocation, right? And you're trying to really monitor the snap count.
Right.
So when you're going NASCAR, that's probably his time to rest, right?
True.
I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I see it.
So then Mosby, right? It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so, Mosby, yeah. Watch this right here, boys. Nice little move. You're going to engage, right? Swat, rip, pressure, sack, bang.
Carl Brooks putting in work there too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when Hafley got in his bag.
Yeah, that's when Clay was 3 or 4 deep on those Coca-Cola slushies. And
bro, let me tell you, it was a cherry slushy.
The sun was just
with Captain
sweating immediately out of him.
Bro, it was so hot. It was so hot. And people were reacting in the chat that next morning with our show. I'm like, I don't sound that bad. I went and listened to it back. I went, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't just the fact that we set it up on a side table in a hotel room. It's the fact that we were sunstroke, heat stroke.
I'm telling you, man, I had several drinks and did not use the restroom one time. That's how hot.
I told you to banana up, man. You weren't listening to me.
All right, wide 9. We're way over on time. Look at this bull rush, boys. Got back there, right?
Dang.
And Levis can't step into that throw because LVN pushing that tackle.
Oh, if you're gonna go down, just sell it. Go full tilt, man. Barrel roll, take out everybody with you.
Yep. Hey, but that's what we saw when we were looking at his tape coming out of college. That was his bread and butter. Just bull rush right off the edge. Take the tackle with you if you have to, or just go right through him.
And I hear people say he's only got one move. He just bull rushes. That's BS, dude. Like, you're seeing the punch and rip, punch, pull, rip.
We've seen swat and swim.
Yeah, you got swat and swim. You got a swat and rip.
I think his starting go-to is a bull rush.
Absolutely.
But he branches off of it a lot. I think that's where people are getting it a little hung off. But you saw right there.
Rashawn's kind of the opposite.
Yep.
Rashawn will pepper in the bull rush once in a while. Usually he's good with the hand technique to get in there.
This is a perfect example right here. Watch LVN. He's going to stunt inside. All right. So you're going to see him kind of loop in, get ready for it. Right. So he's going to start at the tackle, loop in, Okay. Great pressure. I love now he did get pushed in the back. If he doesn't get pushed in the back right here, right?
That's a sack if he doesn't get pushed in the back.
Yeah. No penalty, of course, right? But that pressure should have led to a pick. We talk about pressure, pick, coverage, sack. Look at our boy McDuffie. Right? Dropped interception. But again, LVM with the pressure that should have led to the pick. So
yep.
Look at Aaron Jones gave up on the play too. Run that back. My man ran right off to the sideline. He was trying to say hey to the players. He was trying to say what's up to the old Packers guys. He was like, all right, DJ Moore, take notes.
He was like, I think I left something in my old locker. Y'all see it?
LVN again, wide 9 right. Let's see if he gets chipped here at all. No chip. Great job there. Kind of a little start stop, right? It's pressure, forced him out. Unfortunately, bad angle there by Enigbare. Enigbare's got to know right here, you have got to get upfield, not downfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a horrible angle. Because if he doesn't get that was on 3rd down, if I remember correctly. I've watched too much football this year. Is that 3rd down? If it's 3rd down, I'm going to hate myself. That was 1st down. Okay. 1st down run, but obviously I think he scrambled for the 1st down is what it was. But again, LV another pressure there. So these pressures are legit, no doubt about it. He's
right.
Obviously GPS tracking, they can't screw it up. But here we are again, wide 9 right. Little bull rush. He felt it a little bit, didn't he? Felt that just a touch. Let's watch Murray. See if he feels this off the left side. Oh, yeah, right there. He wanted to kind of scoot left and couldn't. You see how close LVN got.
Yep.
Who's that working the other side? Is that Gary? Or is that Enigbare?
Enigbare.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a great job of keeping him in that pocket, collapsing that pocket around him.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that was the game plan too.
Yep. You have to against a guy like that. He's he will squirm out of there and make you pay. And it didn't happen when we played Arizona because we kept him in that pocket in the well. Yeah.
Coach Lynn says LVN can play 3 tech in NASCAR downs. Yeah, and I mean you've seen him in that 1 tech too, Coach. Right? I'm excited. I think they're probably looking at it like if they didn't think LVM was ready, then they wouldn't have parted ways with Preston. They'd probably said, "Tell Preston suck it up." You know.
Yeah.
If they feel like they're in a good spot with Enigbare, LVN, like we said, Aaron Mosby starting to turn it on a little bit. Maybe Brenton Cox Jr. comes in and sees time. We've seen Carl Brooks at a wide 9 earlier in the year. They may be going that route on occasional snaps, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. If you guys would scan that QR code in the upper right, that'll send you to our Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. I had some more questions queued up from the Patreon group. We got 2 or 3 that I wanted to hit on. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit one real quick. Won't take a second. We'll get out of here. It wasn't really a question, just a comment from Damon. Red Wine says, for as much crap as we give Rashid about penalties, he's only had 2 the last 6 weeks. His other 5 were in the first 3 weeks. So it seems like Rashid Walker is cleaning up the penalties there at left tackle. That's a great thing for sure.
That's good. Coming into his own at that spot, you know. Now I think he's starting to really settle into that role.
Yeah, definitely. And Jake G126 will hit your question tomorrow morning, okay? So, yeah, this was fun, though, man. We, like I said, we went over a little bit. We pulled the tape up, and it's amazing. It flies by it on it. So, but again, it's cool to get kind of a jump and start to see, all right, here's what we're going to see more of with LVN. Probably about 5% increase in workload. Same thing with Enigbare. Now, if we come out next week against Chicago and LVN jumps up well above Enigbare, then you know they're taking the training wheels off. It's LVN time. I think the more snaps he's out there, too. Obviously, he's a physical specimen. You know he's in great shape. He can handle the workload. I think they're just kind of monitoring it there with think of it from a tackle's perspective, and we'll wrap up right here. If you're going against the same guy and they're setting moves up, blah, 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 you know, whatever, you're getting tired every snap. They're getting tired, too. But if they go 3 or 4 snaps, they go off the field and you get a fresh body out there and you got to block that guy. That's tough, right? Yeah. So I don't mind the rotation. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I think you have to. I think you have to. You want fresh bodies. You want and we have the depth. You know, I really believe we do, and we have to see it, right?
Yep.
Got to see it.
Got to see it.
No, I think
you got anything else, Bo?
Just couple stats before we go. I know we were just talking about penalties. So Pro Football Reference has us at team penalties of 67 for 485 yards. Our opponent's penalties are 55 penalties for 442 yards. So the yardage not much different, but our amount is 12 more than what our opponents are. That's not ideal. It's not what we're looking for. And I think we gave up a lot more first downs because of it. And then the other one that I liked was our conversion ratio. So our offense is we've had 107 third down attempts. We've converted 40 of them for a percentage of 37.4 on third down. Don't love it, but it's not terrible. It looks like that ranks our offense 20th. The opponents at third down are 103 attempts for 34 conversions at a 33% rate, puts our defense 7th. That's pretty exciting. Because I feels like we've been on the field a lot on thirds, but they've actually been stopping them pretty well. Almost, 1 in 3 chances, they're getting it. Besides that, we're holding them. Love that. And then our fourth downs here, our team Packers went 7 attempts for 4 conversions at a 57.1%. That puts us 15th. And then our opponents went 12 of 7 for a 58.3%. That puts them 17th. So, we're not I'm not happy about the third down, I guess, for our offense. Besides that, though, you're not going to get every fourth down. And the only thing that we really needed to really work on this break would be our red zone attempt. We've had 34 red zone attempts for 16 red zone touchdowns at a 47.1% rate. Hate that. We need to turn that back into the gold zone or whatever we want to call it this year. Our defense, 32 attempts in the red zone, 19 red zone touchdowns for a 59.4%. So that actually puts
improvement there, though. Still room for improvement there.
Right. That actually puts our defense 20th, but at 60% for, we need to flip those numbers. I'd like our defense to be under 50% and then our offense to be kissing that 60 and up. Because our offense right now is ranked 29th in red zone.
Seeing the best defenses do that too. They tighten up with their back against the wall. The closer you get down there near the goal line, you got to tighten up.
Yep.
And I think we can improve there for sure. And you're right, offensively, holy cow. For a Matt LaFleur offense, man, we need to be putting more tutters on the board in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Sending a tweet out. Apologize. We got some other cool pictures. We'll show them in the morning, Tim. Old school Packers Bears pictures.
Nice. That'll go good with some coffee in the morning.
Absolutely, man. I'll quote tweet that out so we'll know to hit it tomorrow morning. But all right, appreciate you guys. This was fun, man. I know we went way over, but it's awesome that we got the tools, we got the things we need to actually break stuff down at a different level. Even on a bye week, there's plenty to talk about, right? So you come in here going, can we get 40 minutes? And we're an hour 32 in. All right. That's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow for PTA, or what we like to call in the morning, Good Morning Lambeau. We're going to go live at 8:30 Central there in the morning. So make sure you guys set your alarm clock. Emilio, you working tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you weren't working, you still wouldn't get up, right?
No, I get up. I'm all right getting up during the week. It's the weekends, you just got to kick the feet up and relax a little.
We had a video of that, right?
Good morning.
Exactly. Mike Berry said morning. That's right. We're doing a morning show tomorrow. We'll do more of those as we get a little deeper into November. I don't know what that was. I sound like that little kid there. We'll do a lot more morning shows as we get deeper into November. There's not going to be a night show tomorrow because it's playoff football. The nephew's team made the playoffs. So we're going to be trying.
Playoffs?
Damn, that caught me off guard. So we'll be watching high school playoff football tomorrow night. So we'll definitely get you a show in the morning, and we might potentially do one early afternoon. We'll see how things go. But that being said, help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, like this guy right here. All right, go Pack, go. Appreciate y'all.
True international effort to pressure